All right, healthy scratches today is May 24th.
Yep.
May 24th.
Actually, I don't know.
I mean, what more could you ask for? Everyone's been saying
the dream team.
The dream team. They're like, we need more expert hockey analysis.
I feel like a light year away from me on this couch right now. Usually, at least we have another body here, but I mean.
I know. Someone nice, qualified a biz nasty. Someone they're like, give me two of Dave's underlings.
Does it look aesthetically pleasing? How does it look? We look good on the couch?
Looks like kind of like nice. A therapy session or something. Like Absolutely. We're mad at each other.
I see Francis looking at me. You're not getting on this couch, bud.
He's off camera, but
Francis on the same couch is a problem.
Yeah, I may have to sit in between you. Let's get right into it, Frankie. Ovechkin going to the finals. It's done. It's written in history. It's happened.
Just doesn't make sense.
I can't believe it. The beginning of that game last night, Ovechkin sets the tone and scores. Huge. But I thought the Bolts dominated that first period. It looked like they were going to score. There was a couple times, Hope he missed rebounds and things where it looked like they were right there. And as soon as they went into that first intermission, I was thinking, no chance the Lightning win, because you get that many missed opportunities. You start to think one bounce by the Capitals, and all of a sudden it's 2-0. The dream's dead. It's like one of those moments where it's like you got to score in that first period, or else the pressure just builds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, just to start that game off with an Ovi missile from his spot, Vasilevskiy had no chance. Perfect pass, perfect shot. You start a game off like that, a minute in with your superstar scoring. It's just it's an easy breeze to a win from there. I feel like it's especially in the opposing arena.
Yes.
Just shutting up that crazy crowd that was like, everyone knows Game 7 is the time that you all, as players, as fans, this is what you wait for.
Right.
A chance to win, to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa Bay's been there before. They know this experience. They're hungry. They want it.
Yes.
The Capitals haven't been there before, and they're even hungrier because they haven't gotten that taste.
Everyone watched that game, but what you may not have seen yet is their good friend, Eric Nathan, Barstool Nate. He's standing up. So there was a minute left in the game. PFT, Big Cat, Nate.
Yeah, they were feeling good. They're sitting right behind the bench. They have amazing seats. Shout out SeatGeek.
Amazing seats.
Amazing seats for a Game 7, especially those two guys are such big fans. It's really cool to see them in the arena for that game. And, they put up a video saying, like, I can't believe it. PFT said he was going to cry. I mean, you just saw so much emotion.
I mean, the
crowd was so out of it.
He ate horse shit for this win.
The man ate horse shit for this win, specifically for this win.
I don't have words. I'm about to cry. I don't have words. Unbelievable.
And, they were feeling good. Nothing in sight. They were going to take this victory home. They were going to bring it back to New York. They're going to get ready for the Stanley Cup Finals. And like you're alluding to, things didn't really go as planned for Nate because, the Nate dog got out. The spider monkey came out of his cage a little bit.
He's standing up in Tampa with his back to the game, just like cursing everyone out. It looked a little bit like, obnoxious somewhat. If you're a fan that's losing, they all know they were losing. It wasn't a close game. They were done.
Right.
They just paid probably $700 for those tickets in the lower bowl. And he kind of got slapped in the face, something that many of us over time have at one point wanted to do to the Nate Dogg.
When you're around Nate and he's doing that to you, I mean, he's done it on this exact show. You're trying to make a point, you're trying to do something, and he's like making noises, he's making faces. It's just like something that Nate does just really triggers people, and he does it very well. It's just who his brand is, it's who he is, it's who he's made himself to be. And when he's doing this, and like you said, the guy's there, he's probably spent a lot of money on tickets as Tampa Bay fan. He's probably been a diehard fucking fan, although you actually looked into it. He was wearing a Drouin jersey.
Yeah, well, that's even better because it's like the guy clearly just like went all in when they got Jonathan Drouin and then like didn't update.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna be this passionate about your team, where you're gonna walk up to someone and slap him in the head, I mean, that's a crazy person move. Let's just get that out of the way. To be able to go up to someone, yeah, but I mean,
I don't think it's that crazy when you're dejected. Like I
think
wouldn't
it's pretty
do it.
crazy to run up 5 or 6 rows and like.
I think if you're
yell
in
at someone
Philly,
like
this
they're a
happens
child.
the second that he did it. If he did
but
this
not
in
manner.
like the Flyers, like upper deck, he would have gotten shanked in the neck.
No, see, the difference I think between this and something that happens in Philly is in the top sections of Philly when the guys are fucking wasted, they're already chucking each other, they're already pushing each other, they're already saying stuff about them personally.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, Nate wasn't specifically talking to this guy. Nate wasn't talking shit to this guy.
I mean, you turn around and the guy 4 rows up, I think is well
Listen, I think
within
it's
his
hilarious
audience.
what Nate was doing. He's like, you guys are quiet. This is Game 7. We just dominated you. I just came into your arena and I just shit all over you
Yeah, but you
guys.
may get slapped in the face. I was actually,
I think that guy was
when I went to Blues
complete
Blackhawks
psychopath.
Game 7 at Scottrade, which is now the Enterprise Center, there was tons of fights. There was one right in the row behind me, the police like dragging this dude out. A Game 7 atmosphere, I mean a close Game 7 like that, credit to Nate. He seemed to be in good spirits after the game, addressing the Caps Nation.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to get Nate on the show today. He said he was partying a little too hard. He was feeling a little too good. He's on his way back to New York. He said he wanted to come on the show at like 6 o'clock tonight. It's like, Nate, that's just not the right time.
It's not what
but
time
we
it comes
did
out.
get we did get his feelings after the game, which is what every Capitals fan wanted. You know, their rising, shining star.
Hear
fan,
from their leader.
To hear from their leader. Yeah.
I'm coming live from Tampa. I'm out of breath. I have no voice. Places are rocking. I'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate our good friend Eric Nathan's thoughts. And now let's get Barstool Chiefs' thoughts on Game 7.
All right, I guess it really is the Caps' year. I thought the Lightning at home, I think they're the more talented team overall. Caps are just bad boys. They wanted it more. Ovi setting the tone early with that huge, the most classic Ovi goal you can get. He's running around. He's nailing Victor Hedman. He played like a cannonball all series. Smith Pelly's blocking shots with his fucking neck. They're just the meaner, nastier team. They wanted it more. It showed up in that game last night. They took it to them right from the outset, and Tampa just didn't have enough. So Tampa has now got to kind of trade spots with them. They're the new Capitals where they just kind of fold in the playoffs. They made the one run to the Cup Finals, but other than that, they've been a playoff disappointment. Stamkos kind of stinks in Game 7. If Game 7's historically, if you look at it. So the Caps are now the top dog. I think the Lightning are now like the new bitch team of the league.
Thank you, Chief. So a little bit of analysis. We appreciate that. And we'll get into the series on Monday. Capitals moving on. The Lightning falling short once again with the loaded roster. A lot of Rangers they traded for at the deadline, Frankie. Chief making a pretty bold claim, the Lightning being the new Rangers. That's something that is pretty mean in your eyes.
Yeah, I like the way he alluded to that. We were saying it may be a little bit on the hot take spectrum to be calling the Lightning the Rangers right now. I know the Rangers have been around for a long time, being in this position of winning. They haven't won in close to 30 years now. So, I mean,
wow.
To say that the Lightning are the Rangers, I think is giving the Rangers a little bit off of what we should be, the hate that we should be giving them. But as a perennial Rangers hater, I want to hate this move of hiring David Quinn, who they announced as their coach today from BU.
Yeah.
You know, the college coach. This is something that we're starting to see a lot of young, not only young guys in the front office. We talked about Toronto, Toronto and Arizona really going young in the front office. But now you have a guy that is experienced with young players and young coaches and just a young staff in general of David Quinn from BU. And I want to hate it so bad. I want to say that it's a risky move. I want to say that, you know, they're going to regret doing this and not bringing in a guy who knows how to do it. But bringing in a guy like David Quinn, who is known as being a player's coach and a guy who's going to, you know, really help guys develop, and these young guys like Jimmy Vesey and all of these prospects that they traded for, like we talked about the Ryan McDonough trade and Dan Girardi, and they got rid of, I mean, essentially every single person on their roster.
Except for the oldest
Right.
cog in the machine, King Henrik.
King Henrik, king without a crown, sad to see. But, I mean, even, you know, even Brassard back in the day they got rid of. Even Rick Nash they got rid of. They got rid of everyone to prepare for this exact reason of starting over, starting fresh, being able to use like the Mecca of New York as like a free agency, you know, a good place to come and mix it in with really good young players, which is something that we always, as NHL fans, thought the Rangers should be doing forever.
Right.
Like, you should have a good prospect pool, and then guys should want to come play with your team. It shouldn't always be this old Rangers team that we've seen for the last 10 years.
Yeah, in a media market like this, they always wanted to be competitive, and like there's a lot of pressure to win.
There was always a
cups
win now mentality,
right.
And now you bring in a guy like David Quinn who knows how to just, I mean, he knows how to develop these young players, and it's a total 180 from Alain Vigneault, who was never giving young guys a chance to be who they were. If he didn't like you, he sat you.
100%. I think the number one thing to be addressed, David Quinn is a sexy looking dude.
He's a good looking
I mean,
guy.
it's on when you got a high profile team like the Rangers, MSG, it never hurts to have a guy that good
definitely
looking
a
on your
good-looking
bench.
guy.
I mean, that is like a huge asset. When you're talking about, I mean, the Rangers marquee team, look at this bench. It's like, wow, this is the guy we want at the head of our program. I like that move. Number two, the aspect of a college coach coming in the NHL is obviously like a little bit the stigma has been dropped with Montgomery going to Dallas and Hacksaw going to Philly a couple years ago. Thing is, it's like it's very tough to see because like look at Hacksaw. A lot of Flyers fans were angry at him this year. I know Jordy was mad at him for a period of time, or still is. I can't remember how it ended, but it's always tough because it's such a different game when you're dealing with contracts and the media and all this stuff versus you can know so much about hockey and know about young players and connecting, but it's such a different animal. Look at college football coaches in the NFL. It's like, I don't know. I mean, you can't go wrong because obviously a guy like Alain Vigneault kind of flamed out there and they tossed him aside and he was a very experienced, like went to a cup final. So they've tried that. Like you said, I like the move because they've tried other things. Like it's not like they've only done this and it didn't work. It's something new, it's something fresh, and with their youth movement, maybe this is the right move. It's crazy that McDonough in that trade, when it happened, it was like the Lightning are a lock. It's crazy for them to fall short. Not crazy because it's so hard to win.
Now the
but
Rangers
it's
don't
like,
get that first-round pick,
right?
The first overall pick, the first round, because the Tampa had to, I think, make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, not only just win.
It's fascinating to me to see those deadline deals. It's like obviously now I mean they came one game short. It was very close, but it's just amazing to see like the sum of all that when it adds up. Because I wouldn't say it was a fail. I mean it is a failure, but it's not like McDonough was awful. I thought JT Miller played great. Maybe not towards the end of the playoffs, but it's interesting to see. So
Tampa went all in this year. There's no denying that. They went all in and they failed, and it sucks for them. I mean they put all their chips in this year's pot, which they had to. They've been around it.
McDonough's still there next year, I believe.
Yeah, they are.
So we'll see.
But yeah, I mean.
Also, one story we missed yesterday without doing the show: the Tapeworm kid from Miami of Ohio, Columbus Blue Jackets prospect.
Outrageous.
I don't know what to say about it that hasn't already been said, but just a ridiculous thing to be able to skate around and play. Everyone's like, "What's wrong with this guy?" Happened to a kid I knew in college. He ended up having diabetes. There's always like weird things when guys. No, that's a real thing. I'm not joking, but it's like whenever.
I mean, how are we going to put tapeworm and diabetes on the same level?
I'm just saying something was wrong with him.
No one knew.
No one knew what was wrong. He was playing. They're like, everyone's like, this dude seems slow. He used to be better. All this stuff. My friend ended up having a disease. This guy had. I think my buddy probably would have rather had diabetes than a tapeworm living inside.
It's like a 5-foot tapeworm.
25 inches, I believe.
No, 25 inches. Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe one of the worst things that can happen to you as a human being.
I mean, listen, and it just came out of him, right? Didn't he like shit it out?
I believe he was taking a shit, yeah.
That is horrifying. I think a couple years ago, even on Barstool, I think I may have seen it, where like you sit this like person in like India or may have been Asia, where like they were sitting in on the bowl and like a snake just came up and like bit them.
I would rather have that than
but like
a tapeworm.
Ever since seeing that video, it definitely was on Barstool years ago. Ever since seeing that video, it's always been in the back of my head when like sometimes you sit down in like a sketchy ass bathroom or something and you just gotta go. You're like, something may come out of this toilet and just grab me. And to actually have something come out of you when you're sitting on the toilet has got to be the most horrifying experience.
I don't know how this
you look into the
goes
bowl
on.
and not only do you see your shit, but you see a worm going all around.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That just came out of your body.
You said that, yeah. I mean, to me, this is a guy that I want on my team though because he's already been through the worst. We're talking about playoffs.
Disgustingly horrible.
Playing banged up.
Stomach aches and shit. And
guys playing with injuries, Frankie. This dude had the worst thing that could humanly have happened to you. And he's still cooking.
This is very hockey guy of him to be playing with the tapeworm.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, this dude can play for my team any days.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, Evander Kane looks like 7 years at $7 million for the Sharks.
Oh, did the money come out?
I believe that's. I don't know if it's official yet, but it seems like very official. That didn't make sense what I just said. I mean, to me, this is very risky for the Sharks. He's a guy that's good, but in flashes, injured sometimes.
You were talking about the Sharks going all in on a guy like John Tavares, and now they're putting all their money in Evander Kane. I don't even think they're even close to the same skill level, and I don't know. I think he got paid a lot more money than he would have gotten somewhere else. I think they kind of have a hard-on because he had such a good year with them, and I mean, it's kind of like homegrown money right there, like playing with the guys, and they experienced him. I feel like if he went on the free agency market, I don't know if he would have gotten this much money.
But, I mean, you have to take chances, but 7 years, it's like, I don't know. When you put it in the perspective, I believe he's 26, so it's not that risky compared to, like, Milan.
Hasn't he had this vibe of him being like a partier, not really caring that much, and like getting in fights with like coaching staffs and front office?
No, Big Buff.
Yeah, and Big Buff.
They ran him out of Winnipeg. I don't know.
Sign this guy for 7 years.
You always want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like 7 years at maybe $4 million, or 4 years at $7 million. But obviously, looks like the player had the leverage in this scenario.
For sure.
We'll see. The Sharks, I mean, they got to make moves. They've kind of been in the Capitals situation for a while as far as like good, but never there. Unfortunately, yeah, for the Blues as well.
The Western Conference has just a lot of teams like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's been dominated by like teams like the Blackhawks and the Kings for so long. That's just you have this.
Now you got Nashville coming
you have
up.
an abyss
Winnipeg.
of players that just make the playoffs and don't do anything, and the teams kind of just stay content with their players.
100%.
Which kind of sucks. The Eastern Conference, you see a lot more of a difference because it's always changing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's the show, Frankie.
That's it.
Had a great show with you.
Thanks to our special guest.
Thanks to our special guest.
Thanks to the video sent in.
Thanks to everyone for watching.
Nate says we're going to have a big week next week, so we'll see what that means.
We'll see what that means.
Next week on Healthy Scratches. I've seen hockey before, for sure.